Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Pangolin Advisor, also known as Panchasu, and welcome to part 6 of our Hissho playthrough in Endless Space 2 Supremacy expansion. Time is flying by also very fast, isn't it? And our law has been abolished, which is not exactly what I was hoping for. I'd rather it be always in the run, because it is a very important law to have. That was a very unorthodox way to start this game, or rather, yes, to start this particular video, I suppose, but let us keep going, shall we? Now, I might sound a little bit different than before. That is because I have only just finished recording the previous video, so I'm still pretty much on the same hype as I was before, same level of hype, I suppose. Although I do realize that I may not sound so very hyped right now, but trust me, when it comes to Endless Space 2, I always aim. I just try to stop myself somewhat from screaming like a madman, since that makes me rather difficult to understand. Or rather, to be understood, not to understand. My difficulties with understanding are completely unrelated to anything whatsoever. Well, my scoutship is unfortunately about to be destroyed, which is... well, that's just how life is, I suppose. Sometimes you just gotta be killed for the glory of the Empire. And meanwhile, I just realized that the Empire really had nowhere to go, and I almost feel sorry for them. They were being so nice to me. And it turns out that they were desperately trying to get to somewhere because their home system is just standard separate from the rest of the galaxy, and it has no perspective for the future. Well, whatever perspectives they used to have, I'm about to take away from them by murdering whatever else there is left. Which is again a very bad thing to do, but I suppose... well, yeah. I have no words, I'm just a very mean and bad person. I'm going to start by, again, bombarding the enemy just a little bit to soften them up, potentially. And now I'm going to continue by just sieging the enemy. And I was able to force them to draft a little bit and create a no man's land, which will be always fun to explore after the battle and after I take over the system. Mining base unfortunately cannot mine this outpost because the enemy mining probe is already mining it, except I can destroy it. And oh, I'm inside the hostile sphere of influence. That is most annoying. But I can try to see if I can get to Camos before it is overtaken by enemy spheres of influence, hopefully. Meanwhile, Libra is still being besieged, and still I can grab the enemy civilians and turn them into dust, which is wonderful for the economy, really. And I can queue up the production of a bunch of things, including some ships, which I cannot have deployed all at once since that costs too many command points. But that is fine, I can just have all of them orbit Emacs for the time being. Although I suppose I could send it all to Ugaro to just make this siege a little bit faster, so what I'm going to do is I will create just one single Kestrel ship over here for this one of those fleets, and then 4 more Kestrel ships for the other fleet. Well, I can only make 2, so I guess I will make just 2, and this will, I suppose it will have to be good enough. And then I will make a bunch of kites, because hey, why not? The more kites, the merrier. They look beautiful as they soar through the sky and burn everything in their path. Alright, meanwhile, what else do I need to do? Well, there isn't much else I can do, but sacrificing a population for more dust is always a fun thing to do, so let's do a blood ritual, shall we? Ritual is always fun to have. Over here, however, let us specialize my planets so they can produce a little bit more industry than they currently are. And then there is really, again, nothing else I really care about, and a blood ritual is perhaps not the best thing for me to do. So let's not plan for anything at this point in time. And finally, this system is just going to give me ancestral reverence, because I really don't know what else it could give me at this point in time. And as for this one, I can now reassign my hero over to this system and help it grow a little bit better. I will also need to fix the fact that I am completely sapping this system out of life by accidentally setting a bunch of devastating probes at it. Oopsie, I suppose it happens. to everybody. Cravers do it all the time, so I'm not as bad as they are at the very least. And I suppose that since I have nothing to do on systems like Mataraka or Imex, I can queue up a bunch of ancestral reverences, or however you're supposed to pronounce the plural of this system improvement, which is not really an improvement but just an effect. And now with these enacted, does Playon need this? Playon has things to mine, and it is Hyperion as well, so it needs to get the mining unions and whatnot. But with that in mind, I could potentially consider changing one of my laws into the Hatchet Home law, which is a very powerful one indeed. But that being said, I would probably need to have one more system that is not subbing key from me. Then again, I did manage to get a good surplus of key, so I might as well get it. So let's go ahead and do just that. Nice and easy. This is going to increase the power and fitzy protection of all of my systems by a tremendous amount. It usually costs a great deal of key. Oh wow, it does cost a great deal of key. Why so much? Wait a second, shouldn't be like this. Yeah, systems with ancestral reverence queued shouldn't count, so why do they count? Maybe I should queue them up again, because it seems like something is... okay. Oh no, now it's even worse. Did I just discover a bug? Because if I queue it up again... well, I'll be honest with you, I have no idea why it is the way it is. Oh, because I also have Nekos. Still 6, that makes no sense because I have Vibella. Right, I have Vibella, Playon, that's 2, and Nekos, that's 3. So why is it doubled exactly? I do not know unless it's counting also... no, I still have no idea why it is doing what it is right now. Oh well. Losing 7 key at 10 is a little bit more than I was hoping for, so I guess I'll change that. However, good news is I'm gonna get a new hero, so... Dominic Haven is a very good one because he allows me to get more resources from... more strategic resources. But what can a Mavra's hero do for me? Not a lot, honestly, unless I were to use him as an Army Admiral, which is not a bad thing indeed, not a bad thing at all. Question is, do I really want this on him? Not necessarily, he could be better. What about a Voter's Guardian? Voter's Guardian could be a beneficial one to have. They will allow me to get more movement speed on fleet, which is always nice. And also, she's still a Guardian, which does increase her power. It is something to be considered, but she's not that amazing. Whereas Dominic Haven would allow me to get more resources. Prospector's Touch is an amazing thing to have, so I will gladly hire this man, level him up. Oops, I dismissed him accidentally. Not dismissed him, dismissed the notification. Anywho, let us level him up with the ability to gain more influence and more production from everything. Oh, well, more production from food and industry, I suppose. And to get him ready to provide him with more resources as well. Where shall I assign him is the question. Well, in the third most industry producing system I currently control. Either that, or I could move into Nakos, since Nakos needs to be grown up and it is a boulder colony. And these are always ones that you need to watch out for. Besides, it also has antimatter, which is not bad. For the time being, it's good. Later on, I'll probably move him to a system that has Hyperion. Let us also level up Butska, since we might as well, and I'll give her... what shall I give her? The ability to generate even more dance than she currently is, because why not? And I have not been able to destroy any Vodiani fleets, which is unfortunate, but they did spawn very, very far away from me. So I don't feel terribly bad about this, I suppose. Okay, for some reason... wait, what? Why are they coming to help me? Okay, I admit I did not help the Croatian in the time of need because I honestly don't care about them. And I'm glad they are doubly happy about the fact that we are allied, that's very cute. But why are they coming to help me when I'm wrecking house? I'm finding a war on both sides and I'm winning on both sides. Well, let's ponder about this while I dispatch some pirate fleets, shall we? And you know what, I'll deploy one kite in the upper area, just because I can, and I will go for a turtle strategy as well, again, just because I can. And, you know, as always, taking advantage of the fact that we are now just going to watch something that doesn't require any interactions or any commentary for that matter, I'm just going to go ahead and drink some tea and realize that again I have forgot to boost the audio effects in battles. One day I will remember to do that, one day. But that day unfortunately is not today. Well, the enemy is being demolished and destroyed and devastated, and auto camera is failing us as it always is, so not much has changed in that regard. And yeah, these battle effects are extremely quiet, except for explosions that are randomly so much louder than anything else, which I just don't get. Nevertheless, let us go ahead and just move my ships around. And see, I gained a little bit of ki from that fight, which is good, but I'm also going to lose a great amount. And the pirates are attacking my behemoth, my mining behemoth. Actually, it's not the pirates, it's somebody else entirely. What are they using? They're using... okay, they're not using any energy weapons, so I'm just going to go for the turtle strategy with my mining behemoth, and he should be fine. And indeed, he also managed to destroy the enemy while taking minimal damage himself, which is very good. But now he's going to fight against the pirates, and this is going to be a much more difficult fight, I suppose. We're going to watch this fight, because why not? At least we're going to watch a little bit of it. The pirates, this is the same fleet that we just watched and destroyed, so I already know the enemy is using very little energy weapons, so using the turtle strategy is the most important, is the best course of action for us. And of course, the behemoth is a very powerful and mighty ship, and it has enormous amount of health. Even if it does fail to destroy all the pirates, I believe the pirates have no chance of taking down my behemoth. As you can see, they have only managed to take down a sliver of its health, but they have already disabled its shields, which is somewhat unsettling, I do admit. It's also not helpful the fact that the enemy has boosted damage because they have more flotillas than I do. But this is still a behemoth, it's still very powerful. It does keep missing the enemy though, which is not ideal, and it could be perhaps a little bit better. But nevertheless, if we tap back, oh, actually I have already lost half of my, well, quarter of my health. But one of the enemy's small hitting ships has already been destroyed, and it was the energy ship, the one that I dealt very poorly against. I fared very poor. I just didn't do well against, I suppose, is the safest way to say that in English. Nevertheless, it seems like I might be able to destroy Jaw at some point. It's taking heavy damage, it's almost destroyed. And meanwhile, my ship is still... it has lost 1/3 of its health. It's probably going to go to half health, maybe a bit below that. But it should still be fine, and it's actually not the station this time around that I'm dealing with. And that's why I'm doing so poorly, it's because it's an energy-based ship, so it can dish out a surprising amount of damage against my behemoth, which looks like it has seen better days, but nevertheless, it is still a behemoth. It is very difficult to take this monstrous machine down, so I will be able to survive. Hopefully destroy one more enemy ship, but I'm not too sure if I will. Let's speed up this battle nice and easy and see the result for myself. And only the jaw itself remains, so why not press our luck and destroy the jaw? Break the jaw, I suppose. No, I accidentally attacked the humongous fleet. Alright, this is bad. I'm going to lose my behemoth. Oh no, this is so sad. I didn't notice, I didn't pay attention that there are more pirates in the vicinity. This is a station this time around, so it would be a little bit better perhaps, but I might lose my behemoth. Let's just see, and yes, I did. A grave defeat this is. I was only able to destroy one ship as well. And the behemoth has been lost all because of my recklessness. Well, I can make a new one without too much of an effort, I suppose, but still, that behemoth managed to accomplish very little and it was destroyed, so I'm certainly not pleased with this result, not one bit. But I can always remake it and make it a little bit better. So let's go ahead. I'll keep the coal miner since I'm not planning to make the same mistake twice again. And I'll change the weapon loadout on this ship. So firstly, I need basic unstable slugs, that much is obvious. And also, I will also give it basic hell array laser for middle to long range necessities during combat. Although basic decay torpedoes are also pretty good, but I found this ship to be missing with those a lot, so let's not use those. Let's upgrade its armor as well. Do I want anything else? It already has Hyperion engine. I don't believe it requires anything else really. I don't have any better engines anywho, so this is good enough for a mining behemoth. Let's queue this up and let's make this bad boy, shall we? Thankfully it only costs 4 Hyperion, so it's not that bad. Also I have a humongous amount of key, which is good, since I'm also losing quite a bit per turn on the low of mine, which I don't really know why it is happening, honestly. Especially since, what happens if I disable this Ancestral Revenant? Nothing. Okay, I believe it is bugged now, because Ancestral Revenant is supposed to help with this law, and instead it's not doing anything whatsoever. But what if I disable DQ Ancestral Revenants on all of my systems, disable the Hatchet Home? Oh no, wait, I just enacted it. Never mind. I'll do that next turn because something is clearly bugged, I would say. Because something is supposed to change when Ancestral Revenant is queued up. Anywho, this fleet is pretty big and it is relatively mobile, so let's get it to the front line if I can. Well, it's going to take a very long time, but at least it will be there for when I am supposed to attack the enemy. As for these kites, well, they can match with some more kites and a single Kestrel, and they can head over to Kuyos. They'll stay there, grab some more key, while this fleet is going to move away from Kuyos and go head over to Ugara for the time being, and later on I might move it to Bushir if I am to declare war on the Sophons, and I most likely will do just that, because why not declare the war on the Sophons? Meanwhile, let's design my favorite ship in the game, that being the Obliterator. Oh yes, I'm very happy to get my hands on this bad boy. And what does this ship need? Honestly, it needs nothing but engines to allow it to move from point A to point B. And I'm not planning to let it ever be attacked either, so let's just make sure it can move relatively fast, and that's good enough. Let's apply the design, and wonderful, I can start making the Obliterators, provided that I have enough resources, of course. So, in fact, mining behemoths, very important. Obliterators, even more important, so let's make sure that both of these are queued up. And I can make 2 in one turn, that's surprising even to myself. Is there anything else I can possibly do? I guess I can do something while being incredibly posh, which is fine, I suppose. I believe there is nothing else for me to do, so let us end the turn and drink some more tea. Oh, I know what I didn't do. I did not start the timer, so I have no idea how long I was recording for. How do I figure this out now? Let me tab back, alt tab, and see real quick how large the file is. Thankfully you cannot see it, can you? No, you cannot, so just real briefly check. It's about 1.6 gigabytes in size. So I was recording for what, 10 minutes? Let's assume 10 or 15 minutes, so... Oh well, if this episode is a little bit longer shortened than it's meant to, that is fine. And apparently I was not able to keep edicts clear of hostile ships. Unfortunately, this quest is pretty much random. It is possible to make it more likely to succeed, but it's not really worth it, because it doesn't really give you all that many rewards, so I don't really care about losing it. Pirate Mark placed on Ibella, it's not like I care. In fact, I embrace the Pirate Mark, since it will allow me to gain more key while also gaining more resources from killing the enemy pirates. That is absolutely amazing. A random shuttle has appeared. I'll be very happy to take it down. It's also using a mix of missiles and the kinetics weapons, so that's fine. I should still be able to destroy it with a title strategy, provided it actually stays and fights, and I believe it will run away. And it did indeed run away. Collapsing Star is now owned, which is nice. It's going to give me a few more resources, most importantly the influence, which is always nice. My hero has also leveled up, and he's a Senate hero, so let's go ahead and give him the let's go ahead and give my government the ability to make more behemoths, which is very important and very nice as well. Let's level up my most intriguing looking hero. Let's see, a fight is about to start against... Oh, that's the wild military behemoth I found. Sure, let's go ahead and destroy it in a second. Pirate mark placed, I know, I don't particularly care. The photobomber appeared, well this means that we're close to the academy quest. Well, winning this quest does give you access to the cleaver, but honestly cleaver, what it's worth is it's not that great of a beam. It does use antimatter, keep that in mind. I'd rather just grab it, you know, is some other way, or just not use it at all. And also solo quest started with vital statistics. I can gain key no matter what, and I probably care most about adamantium, let's be honest. So I need to possess 2 powerful military ships. I believe this is going to be a very easy quest to succeed. Let's see. The Vodiani has joined my enemies. Well, the Vodiani will soon regret the decision. Well, maybe not necessarily soon, but they are guaranteed to regret the decision. So that's good. And they're already begging for a truce, because supposedly I declared war on them. No, I'm sorry, they joined an alliance against me. So in my eyes, they declared a war against me. Because, I mean, how would it otherwise make any sense? Oh, come on, they're forcing a truce on me, and I don't have enough influence to deny it, which is very annoying. Well, I'll deal with that in a second. Firstly, I'll destroy the behemoth, and then I'll destroy as many enemy ships as I can, before I then declare war on the enemy one more time. So, firstly, TBOB, can you become an obliterator? No, you cannot. I don't have enough Hyperion, so for the time being, let's move it a little closer to the Volter airspace, because that is certainly where I'll be firing upon with the obliterators. Meanwhile, let's prepare for combat over here. We're certainly going to watch this one. It's going to be an interesting fight. The enemy is only using projectile weaponry, there being kinetic weapons and probably missiles, but let's check it out. They are... No, they are just using missiles alone, alright. Turtle strategy is going to work wondrous against it then. Let's see, my hero is pretty good at medium range, but I'm just going to deploy him in the bottom area, because then it will always have a good firing arc, whereas the Castro is just going to sit lonely in the top flotilla, since it will never do anything useful regardless. Let's fight it and let's win our faction quest, or at least this part of it, I suppose. As I drink even more tea, because I am an absolute addict. That's also why I'm planning to make the tea itself, or rather a teacup, my loyalty badge on my Twitch channel, because why not? It seems like a pretty good loyalty badge for a man who drinks a ton of tea every day. I also eat a lot of ice cream every day, but you don't know that since I don't eat ice cream while recording, so it doesn't really fit the channel nearly as much as tea itself does. Alright, I will help the auto camera because it's being pretty awful right now. And I'm being also really pretty awful, so... Oh wow, this behemoth is using some fairly advanced weaponry, but it's not good enough since I'm using some very powerful kinetics that are just destroying all of the enemy weapons, and I don't believe I have taken a single bit of damage this fight, which is nice. Also, I cannot hear anything, because the ships are just too far apart from each other. Okay, now I heard something, and now I don't hear anything anymore, which is bad. Well, I had that explosion. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to delay it for anymore. I'm going to change the settings right away, and if this goes out of control, you will tell me. Worst case scenario, this video will become slightly less watchable, Well, it should still be fine. I do have the suppressor enabled, so what could go wrong? Let's set this bad boy to 79% on SFX volume and it should be okay. Also, one more thing I want to do, and where was it? There was a little thing that was bugging me. Razor Chroma effects turned off. It sounds cool, honestly, and I do have Razor hardware, but the thing is, the only thing they do is they make it blink in a single color. Not really all that exciting. I turned it on because I was curious, and then I always forgot to turn it off, and it was just annoying. Also, my key is maxed out, and that's a horrible thing to let happen. So, firstly, I'm going to activate the Way of the Obsidian Eagle. Thank you very much. And now it looks like Hatchet Home finally started to work, which is good. Alright, the Mighty Behemoth is actually not yet ready, despite what the game told me, so it lied to me. And it also did not create the... oh wait, it did create the TBU, never mind. I could create another TBOB, since I will create another Obliterator soon afterwards, and I have the room for it, so let's go ahead. What I'm also going to do is allow the TBOB to have some engine modules, so that when I do get enough Hyperion to actually turn it into an Obliterator, those ships are already as close to the enemy as humanly possible. So with that in mind, let's queue up 2 more TBOBs. Excellent. So the truce is unavoidable, but before I sign the treaty, I can always kill a few more civilians and destroy a random behemoth. So let's go ahead and do that. Declare the attack against the economic behemoth, and let's watch it just to test it out if things are now a little bit better. The enemy behemoth, ooh, a lot of energy weapons. Well, I'm going to go for science for scrap anyway, because this is going to be extra 50 science from destroying this ship, plus the, plus the science I get from my current militaristic law enacted, of course. I knew this is going to be a good test if the SFX exchange was actually good. Now, on my end, the sound of those weapons being fired is deafening. So do let me know in the comments. Well, I'm going to watch it myself. But we're going to see if now you can actually hear the sound of weapons firing from further away while not being deafened by the game. I am, but again, I am using the suppressor filter, so hopefully it is filtering everything for you. In fact, I can check it live. And indeed, it does look like, worst case scenario, the weapons get as loud as my voice is. Which is still not ideal. I should probably increase the power of the suppressor. But I will do that after I'm done recording, because this is a very risky thing to do while being live. I don't believe anything bad would happen, but you can never know, and I'm always very, very cautious and careful. Alright, well, let's explore a curiosity, since I might as well. While I'm here already, let's see what I found on Raya. That's probably the no man's land, so it is going to give me a bit of titanium. Don't mind if I take it for myself. Also, I'm again almost maxed out on a key. Anywho, what else do I do? Oh yes, it's my last step of the quest, since I destroyed the enemy fleet and I got the Behemoth Overdrive card, which is very nice. Well, can I attack the enemy anywhere else? Not necessarily. In fact, I don't see any other fleet of the enemy's alliance that I could attack, so I will unfortunately have to accept the truce. I will at least get some dust for it, but I don't care about having more dust now, so I'll just sign the truce because I'm backed against the wall and I have nothing to do. And as soon as possible, I'll declare the war again against all international treaties.
Speak.
In fact, I could do it right away. No, I can't. I don't have enough influence. That is a shame. Well, I am gaining a lot of influence per turn, so this should be achievable, I suppose. Anyway, as it was requested again, and last video isn't live yet, so I don't know if you approve, I'll read this thing again, this passage, myself. I must have battle, or all aid which... I cannot speak apparently. That's annoying. Let's try again. I must have battle, or old age will take my head. Too soon, winter comes. It reminds me of Game of Thrones already. The Blaze Hog wrote these words years ago, and only now do I understand them. I feel that our victory is close, and that soon all Hissho will see the past as the bedrock upon which we will build our future, the future rather, not a ball and chain that holds us back. But what will happen if I am victorious? What further battles will I seek? What does the sword do when the arm becomes too frail to wield it? How can I serve the Emperor and the Sun God then? When my quest began, these are certainly not the questions I thought I might be asking. But I will put off these weak, self-indulgent thoughts. Focus. Fight. It is our greatest hour and our fleets are preparing to ride it out and conquer with weapons and our will that might even have brought tears to the eyes of Akama Daitan. My blade fills with stories and I would like to see even more. For defense or for offense, for control or for sacrifices to Tonsai, we must have fleets worthy of a great empire and great adversaries. Have at least one obliterators. Don't mind if I do, I would have done so regardless even if they did not ask me to do just that. I'll gladly get as many obliterators as it is humanly possible. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and activate level 2 modernization, as well as get some more science up in here, since I can certainly make good use of it. And you know what, why not get Fury Foundation? I need to make some use of this key, right? And the system is only now growing up, and Fury Foundation will make it much easier for the system to grow quickly. Besides, it is being depleted. I feel like I should make it up for those people who are now being mined to the death by those probes. So yeah, let's end the turn. And this tea is delicious. Anywho, let's see. Latest political survey I don't really care about. I'm sure militarists will win. And market-wise price increase, excellent, I can again make good money off of the marketplace. And I will do just that as soon as I level up my hero, who's clearly going to get more speed on fleet because it is an amazing thing to have for a fleet admiral. Now, as for the marketplace, I would love to design a level 3 modernization, but there isn't much I could really make good use of. I do have Transvine from somewhere, I'm not sure where. And Hydromeo as well. Where did I get those things from? Nakos gives me Transvine. As for Hydromeo, I found it on the Emacs. So these have a future. Transvine I will probably never get enough of to actually create the level 3 modernization, but I can always try, and it's a very, very good thing to have, honestly. So let's queue these things up. Hydromeo is not that great, honestly, and I have a humongous amount of Red Sang, which would probably be better, not quite as efficient, mind you, but I just would have a lot of it. Now let's just make it very difficult modernization level to achieve. I don't particularly care. Alright, let's move all of my fleets to their destinations, nice and easy. TBOB, can I turn you into an obliterator? Not just yet, I need a little bit more Hyperium. That is fine. You head over to Yubela and get ready to become an obliterator right there. This is a mining behemoth, right? Yes, so this one is going to go to Wasat first if I have the technology, which I don't currently. So instead I'm going to send this mining behemoth all the way to, well, maybe not Kras. And I can no longer send it to... Where was the system that was really amazing to have? Kamos? Kamos was nice. Kras, or Kras is difficult to grab. Mining behemoth suddenly became a lot less worthwhile than in the past because enemy influence zones are now everywhere. It is somewhat infuriating, but it will become more relevant once I blow the systems up. Trust me on that one. For the time being, I'll just send it to Wasat and let it stay there, I suppose. And I'll use it at some point in the future. One of my fleets requires order. It's a scout fleet that could discover a curiosity. Maybe it's a good one, maybe it's a delicious one, maybe it gives me something good. Oh, it's a quest curiosity. I wonder what it is. It gives me a bunch of science. Alright, well, cool, I guess. I don't particularly care, but I won't complain about it either. Finally, is there anything else that requires my immediate attention? Doesn't look like it is the case. I am making good progress on every single system I have. And what did I just research? Other than the Obliterator technology. I believe that was the only thing I did get. No, never mind. I now have the F-Reality Institute. A very important thing to have, and for the time being, I'm going to change the address Ancestral Reverence over to F-Reality Institutes everywhere I can. They do use antimatter, but which I will need at some point in the future, trust me on that one. But at least they don't use Hyperium, and they do give me a lot of the extra science I so desperately need. So I will go ahead and grab them, if you don't mind, and I don't believe you will, because why would you? Right, this is going to increase the loss of ki per 10, of course, which is not optimal. So I might as well change the Hatchet Home Law for now and change it over to the Brains of a Bucks. Just for a little while, I suppose. It won't hurt. Quite the opposite, in fact. Let us end the turn. Excellent. Let's guard this area, except I can't because the enemy Sophon fleets are already doing that for me, and they're quite formidable. I'm tempted to declare war on the Sophons right away just so that I can attack them, except I probably wouldn't be able to actually destroy the enemy fleets as they are... Actually, they're not that powerful, they're not the worst but not the best either. I could probably win this fight. And it would be fun to fight on all fronts, wouldn't it? It would bring us a little bit more spice, allow me to destroy Corvus just for fun. There are plenty of benefits to declaring this war. So I could do just that. Meanwhile, my hero has leveled up, and what can I give her that would be in any way useful? Well, I suppose I can give her less upkeep, I don't really care about that anymore. More defense, that also increases the send capacity, so let's go ahead and grab that and allow her to get the ultimate skills next time she levels up, which is excellent. Church and State quest, well... I'd rather have the religious party in the government than the scientists, so let's make sure that the church is the one that I please the most. What else do we have? That is... oh, it's the Living Plague! I accidentally fulfilled this quest. Well, that's hilarious. So let's see, I can unlock the Pirate Shield, which is very outdated, and I need to defend the Ibella. This is going to be a very easy quest to do, I believe, because I do happen to have a bunch of kites in here, as well as a TBUB, which obviously will not participate as it is pretty much unarmed, unless the enemy attacked the TBUB. They didn't, that is good. And these pincers and jaws, they should be very easy to deal with. Yeah, and they are using for the most part missiles, so I can just stare to it up and kill them all. And it is exactly what I shall do. Probably lost very little health, in fact I lost nothing whatsoever, which is excellent, and the threat has been destroyed. I gained some extra ki and a pirate shield, which I'll again probably never use. With that in mind, I can just keep those ships guarding the system. The TBOB waits for its moment of glory, which has come. Let's upgrade it to an obliterator and get ready to rain death upon the universe. And the universe, oh, I feel so very sorry for it already. Now, meanwhile, my ships are now relatively stuck in here, which is not the worst thing necessarily, actually, since I might actually be tempted to send them towards the South ones, to start weakening one of the systems that I would actually like to take, as opposed to blow up. Which system would that be? I have no idea, but Kran is a candidate, since it is the enemy home system and I would like to have it nevertheless. So how about I already start making my way over there for when I actually declare war on the enemy. Meanwhile, let's keep sending probes in random direction, hoping that I find something that is fun. No idea what it could be, but hey, it's always worth to check what is near you in the universe, isn't it? The universe is quite vast after all. It's good to know what's out there. Right, this TBUB is going to go straight to Nakos. It is so that it's in a nice forward position for when it turns into an obliterator and fires upon the enemy. And skew some things up on Playon. Probably nothing that uses Hyperium like the Koimachi Academy. That one is Yep, not going for that one, certainly not. Industrial zones are a potential, but I would rather go for ancestral reverence, just so that I can then again reenact the famous where is it, hashed at home law, which is so amazing. Does cost a humongous amount of key, but I'm killing enough people to make it worthwhile. And finally I can start mining this giant gas giant, which is a very nice gas giant to have. It is a shame that it's orbiting literally nothing, so it's not that worthwhile. Although it does have one great thing going for it, and it is the fact that you literally cannot destroy it with an obliterator. Because an obliterator can only target a star system. This is not a star system, it's just a lonely gas giant in space, so it's not like it can do anything. Anywho, let's move my mining base over to Duviel. I can't mine any resources, but I can get some fitzy out of it at the very least. And with that in mind, is there anything else I can potentially do? Declare war on the cell phones. It would not be a surprise war per se. I mean, yes, it will be a surprise war actually, so let's just do this. Let's attack the enemy. Why not? I feel like doing this, so let's kill. Let's kill while I can. I'm sure the Croatian will not be too pleased with my decision, but oh well.
Dude.
They sound excited. You know what?
Welcome.
I'd rather declare battle or war on her because she's... her grin is just too freaky, although it's not as freaky as it used to be, but I will still declare war on her nonetheless. Hi.
We'll do our best to look on the...
Yes, you will do your best to do something, and the Sophos declared an attack. Brave souls, those Sophos, brave souls indeed. And they're using some energy weapons alongside kinetics, but again, my fleet is relatively powerful, and I am the Hissho. In Endless Space 1, Hissho would always matter the cell phones. In Endless Space 2, it's exactly the same, except even better. So let's move my kites around. I wish I have humongous firepower, and hopefully it will be alright the way they are set up right now. I will watch this fight. It's been a while since we saw any cell phone ships destroyed, so let's just go ahead and see what happens. They are using bombers, which makes me laugh and nothing else really, as they are ridiculously underpowered. Unfortunately, I do eagerly await the bombers becoming more relevant in the meta, since right now I'd rather use weapon every time. Anywho, I hear a lot of explosions, but since auto battle, or rather auto camera is so awful, I don't actually see a lot of action. This is a little bit of a better shot, I suppose. Also, even though I increased the sound effects, they are still relatively quiet for when the battle actually happens. Like, we could just barely hear anything happening, and now we can hear the ship actually firing. Which should sound more epic than it does. I still have no idea why it is the way it is. I remember way back when in the early alpha, I had nothing against the sound density in battles, and now it's just all over the place. I don't know why. And Amplitude never did anything about this because I assume either my issue is just unique to only me, or potentially they just don't understand what I'm trying to tell them, or finally I'm just they just don't know how to fix it. All of these are possibilities. So the families are sad and the Sophos are distressed, which is fine by me. And I created a debris field. That is fine, let there be a debris field. And I can destroy an enemy hero ship as well. Why not? Let's go ahead and destroy it. And it is now hopefully gone. No, it retreated. Well, I still gained some key out of it. And let's keep this fleet over here to keep destroying any pirates that spawn. Nice and easy. Now, by the way, I forgot, what do I gain from battling as the Hissho? Oh yeah, bonus key gains. Sure, that is very nice. And of course the free war delegation as you always get. And oh yeah, I now have a third... Oh yeah, no, I don't. I didn't get the hero that is an industrialist. Can I get an industrialist though? I'll check that in a second. I'll first level up this hero by giving her... Hey, go back. By giving her more influence, generation abilities. And then I'm going to check the marketplace for more heroes. Well, I can still hire those. But no heroes on the marketplace, unfortunately. That is a shame. So now, can I declare war on this other alliance?
Speak.
Not yet. I do not have enough influence. I soon will, and I soon will also declare war, even though it is a very, very costly affair. I have the influence to spare. I am gaining influence despite all of these laws being currently enacted. So yeah, I can definitely do that. And the Croatia, they won't mind, I'm sure. They still have power, they haven't even lost that much, and they're about to gain Lahat, so they're doing very well for themselves, I would say. Voting time it is. Let's vote for the industrialists and hope that they make it into the government, since I need Mineral Mines Act so desperately. It could go either way. So far, I'm not terribly optimistic. Pacifists got a little too many votes, a few too many votes, and what the balls happened here? Why do I have pacifists and ecologists in the government? They have nothing to do in here. I don't care about them either. Sure, I can get more food and more efficient anomalies. Cool, I guess I'll use that since I might as well. But I'd much rather have, you know, things that are useful than what they offer, which is awful. Oh well, that is a shame, but at the very least an obliterator has now been readied, and my new quest has started, and I will read this out since this is the last part of our faction quest. I write these words with sadness, but not resignation. The last act of her enemies was to take Hissho Blackright's life. A suicidal attack in which she died defending me. Her legacy will live on. Her deeds will be written alongside those of the greatest of blood sisters. To her enemy's great regret, I still believe in Hissho's ideals and in our traditions. And I am now particularly fond of blood sacrifice. I, Emperor Iolo Blacker, I have no idea how to pronounce it, but that doesn't matter. And I got the singular targeting system, which is ridiculously overpowered, and now the entire galaxy can fear my wrath, since I'm pretty sure if all of the AIs now united against me and sent their fleets at me, they still wouldn't be able to take me on. Their best hope, their only hope, is to win the game in some other way. Alright, let's not be too cocky. If they all united against me and all sent their fleets at me, I probably wouldn't have enough ships to stop them. Probably, but not necessarily, to be entirely honest, and I do have a lot of ki, and I would gain a humongous amount of ki from that as well. And I already have a very decisive lead over the enemy. I think I would do fine. I really do. Alright, what else is there to do? An obliterator is in a very good spot, I would say. How about I move it to Gens so that it has a very good, oh yeah, close borders. I'm about to open them, but I'll start moving it closer first. It cannot fire just yet anyway. It will take a long time to ready a shot without upgrading the obliterator technology, and I will need to do just that. So let's see what else I can get. I can get more dust if I needed it. The thing is, I don't need it in the slightest, so let's ignore that for the time being and just go for Ancestral Reverence, shall we? So that I can make more behemoths. And actually I can't, because I'm already at the maximum. That is a shame indeed. Not sure when that happened. But it did happen, so now what I can do instead, I suppose, is... well, it could be an F-Reality Institute, except I can't make one, so let's just make a bunch of ships instead. A lot more ships instead, in fact. A whole lot more ships, in fact. Right, a bunch of kites and a single falcon will do, I suppose. Well, I could also create... let's see, can I create any Castrals? No, I cannot. I do not have enough Hyperium. That is unfortunate, but hey, I can go for green fertility bill. I'm so happy, except not in the slightest. But deadly intent bill would help me conquer enemy planets, so let's enact that one. And let us also declare war on the enemy as soon as I give Nakos some orders, because it needs to grow a little bit faster than it currently is. Right, with that in mind, however, I can go ahead and backstab the people who forced the truce on me.
Let us see if we can trust your words.
I mean, yes, you can trust my words. I promised to kill you, and I will do just that.
I do not trust.
I'm a very honest and honorable bad, even though I kill everybody, but at least I notify them of such deeds. So, again, very good. And, oh, hey, a cruiser. I don't believe this battle is worth watching, however, I'm just going to kill the enemy nice and quick, without worrying too much about it. The enemy can only deploy in the middle range as well. They're using a lot of energy weapons, but science from scrap will do me fine. We're not watching this one, because I'm probably about to finish this video as well. And let's see, the enemy actually fought, and the enemy died, which was to be expected, and I am maxed out on key, which well, I should have realized a little bit sooner. How about I change the orders on these planets and get a bunch of feudal foundations going, by which I mean just one. So that this system grows a little bit fast. The feudal foundations are very powerful after all, and they don't require all that much in an industry either. Okay, what did I just research? Or did I even research anything in particular? Oh right, I finally got the thing that will allow me to make some more good scientific behemoths. So this scientific behemoth, let's upgrade this one. So remember how I gave it the modules to get stuff from you know, nodes that different types of nodes. I can also give it advanced node analyzer so that it can actually, and let's see, not advanced node analyzer, where is it? I can find, there we go, stellar node study thing, so that I can actually save some science from researching when researching things, and this is a very nice thing indeed. Although I will also get one more advanced node analyzer, since it is a very important thing to have. Let's auto design the ship as well, get it some better weapons too, and I believe it is now as good as it can possibly be. I am tempted to give it an engine, but nah, it's fine. It's good enough. Anyway, TBUB is going to be cancelled, since I do want a science behemoth right now. Alright, speaking of behemoths, I would like to send a behemoth to Yibera and fix those plants that are currently being depleted, but I already sent my behemoth to Duvio. Thankfully the plants are no longer depleted, they are only almost depleted. So that's not the best, but it could be worse, I suppose. Let's go ahead and start colonizing them, shall we? Let's get cerebral reality going as well. Alright, excellent. Anything else to do? Not right now. I managed to backstab the enemy and continue sieging the enemy systems, which will take a while, unfortunately. But we have time, while the enemy, well, they have time as well. Time to die. And since I am not entirely sure how long this video is, I'm just going to call it there right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Pangolin Advisor, also known as Panchasu. Thank you very much for watching. I'll sell a few luxuries while I can, I suppose. Thank you very much for watching me sell some luxuries, and I'll see you online.